Annie bought 2 meals, but she didn't give her boyfriend a single bite. Instead, she handed it to the top student in class. All because Annie had been reborn. In her last life, Annie just wanted to please her boyfriend, even borrowing from loan sharks. And in the end, her parents were hounded to death. She thought her boyfriend would help out, at least pay for her parents' funeral. But he showed zero gratitude. He didn't give a penny, and right in front of classmates, he mocked her, calling her a simp. Only then did Annie realize, the guy she loved for 10 years, saw her as nothing but an A-team. With her heart crushed, she ran to the rooftop, ready to end her pathetic life. Just as she was about to jump, Kevin rushed in and stopped her. That's when she woke up. She finally realized how much Kevin cared about her. She swore if she ever got another chance, she would never love the wrong guy again. And the next second, Annie woke up 100 days before college entrance exams. Before she could even react, the scumbag tossed a note at her. He looked back at her, signaling her to fill in the answers. Annie remembered in her past life, after every exam, the teacher would point at 2 identical test papers, asking them to explain. And Annie, who was hopelessly loyal, always took the blame herself, because she had promised to do 100 things for him. In exchange, he'd go public about their relationship. But this time, when Kevin saw the scumbag, he thought Annie was being used again. So in anger, he turned in a blank paper. But Annie suddenly stood up and reported him. The scumbag never expected Annie would go against him, but since he had always been the top student, other classmates all defended him, saying Annie must be bitter from rejection. So she accused him of cheating. To prove his true colors, Annie challenged him to a head-to-head quiz right there, on the spot. To keep his genius image, he had to say yes, but deep down he thought Annie was just trying to get his attention. He never thought she'd actually mean it, but Annie solved the tough problem with ease, and even showed 3 different solutions, leaving him embarrassed on the spot. So he tried sneaking a cheat sheet, but got caught right away.
小抄，他居然是抄的！
季秋池，给我来办公室。邹诗雨，你今天害我在同学面前这么丢脸，咱们走着瞧吧。
To get closer to Kevin, Annie volunteered to tutor him after school, but Kevin's buddy just laughed at her. Kevin snapped and kicked his buddy out. Then he asked Annie, wasn't she only tutoring Jack before? Why offer to help him now? He warned her if this was just a whim, she better not waste his time. But Annie said she was serious. She'd never waste another minute on that jerk, and promised she could even help him enter the math contest. Kevin thought maybe she had really changed, so he secretly picked out a pen for her, planning to give it after the contest.
给你，顺便给你留的，每个人仅此一张。知道你一直惦记着这个。
But suddenly the jerk showed up and snatched Annie's sign-up form. He said he'd forgive her for reporting him, as long as she dropped out, and handed the honor to Tina. Annie remembered in her past life, he locked her in the bathroom to stop her from competing, so she missed the contest. Afraid he'd pull the same trick again, she had no choice but to agree. Ignoring Kevin's protest, she tore up the form right in front of him. But once Jack and Tina left, Annie secretly signed up again with the teacher. What she didn't expect was to win the championship. Tina actually stooped so low that on contest day, she pushed her dad to hit Annie with a car. A whole week later, on the day results were announced, Annie showed up on crutches.